frozen mountain, a torn tent. 9 experienced hikers fleeing half-naked into a -30°C blizzard. Days later, rescuers found their bodies scattered across the snow, some with crushed ribs, one with a missing tongue, others with no visible wounds but fatal internal injuries. What happened on that mountain? Was it a natural disaster? A military cover-up? Or something not of this world? In the dead of winter, January 1959. 10 young Soviets, bright students, and recent graduates from the Ural Polytechnic Institute packed their gear, laced up their boots, and embarked on what should have been the adventure of a lifetime. Their mission: to conquer Otorten, a remote, snow-covered peak deep in the Ural Mountains, not far from the edge of Siberia. But Otorten was no ordinary mountain. In the language of the local Mansi people, its name means, "Don't go there." Group, led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, was highly experienced. Each member was skilled in winter survival, mountaineering, and navigating hostile terrain. They weren't thrill-seekers. They were disciplined, smart, and determined to earn Grade 3 hiking certification. The highest level in the Soviet Union at the time, their ages ranged from 20 to 38. They were engineers, radio specialists, athletes, the pride of Soviet youth. Diaries and photos from the early days of the trip show smiling faces, snowball fights, shared meals, and the kind of tight bond forged by frost and fire. But then, something strange. One member, Yuri Yudin, suddenly fell ill with sciatica and a heart condition. Dyatlov insisted he return to safety. Yudin was heartbroken. He'd trained months for this. But fate had made its decision as he said goodbye. To his friends for the last time, he had no idea they would all vanish into legend. He would be the only one to come back alive. Days passed. The hikers pushed deeper into the frozen wilderness, forging through biting winds, whiteouts, and waist-deep snow. By February 1st, the team reached the slopes of a barren peak known as Kolats Hak. In the Mansi language, that name carries a warning: Mountain of the Dead. It was an ominous name. They were logical, scientific minds, not superstitious. Yet here in the open, on the mountain's windswept side, they made a puzzling decision. Instead of continuing down to the dense, sheltered forest below, they pitched their tent in the open, fully exposed to the elements. Why? Some say they wanted to practice camping in harsh conditions. Others believe they lost daylight and visibility. Forcing a quick setup, whatever the reason, that tent on that slope would become the last trace of their known movements. That night, something happened, something so sudden, something so horrifying, that it made 9 skilled hikers tear through their tent from the inside and flee barefoot and half-dressed into the freezing night. -30°C. Total darkness. No gear, no protection. They didn't take food. They didn't take shoes. They ran. Like they were being hunted. But by what? An avalanche. A creature. Something or someone they never saw coming. 2 bodies were found under a pine tree, wearing only underwear. Their hands were scraped to the bone, suggesting they had desperately tried to climb the tree, maybe to escape, or to see something. 3 more were found between the tree and the tent, frozen mid-dash crawl. But the real horror came later. 4 more were found 2 months later. Buried under snow with severe injuries, one had his ribs crushed, another had his skull fractured. One woman was missing her eyes and tongue. Strangely, their clothes had traces of radiation, yet there were no external wounds to match the internal trauma. Doctors said the force needed to cause these injuries would be like a car crash. Locals reported strange orange orbs in the sky on the night of the incident. Military activity? UFOs? Searchers described the camp as eerily silent, heavy, like something was still watching. A photo from one of the cameras showed a blurry, dark figure standing in the forest. Was it an animal? A person? Something else? Over the decades, countless theories have emerged, each more bizarre and chilling than the last. The official Soviet investigation concluded that an avalanche had forced the group to flee. But this explanation left more questions than answers. There were no clear signs of an avalanche. The tent was still partially standing. Footprints were orderly, not panicked. Some believe the hikers were accidental victims of a secret military experiment. The area wasn't far from a classified Soviet weapons testing site. Could they have stumbled into something they weren't supposed to see? Then there's the UFO theory. Reports mention strange lights in the sky on the night of the incident. And some of the hikers' clothes showed traces of radiation, a detail never fully explained. Another scientific theory blames infrasound low-frequency sound waves generated by wind patterns around the mountain. These sounds can cause intense panic, nausea, and hallucinations, triggering a fight-or-flight response. But some point to a darker possibility. The local Mansi. People always warned outsiders. This land is cursed. One of the final photos on the group's camera shows a dark, humanoid figure in the trees. To some, it was nothing more than a trick of the light. To others, it was something watching, something not human. In 2019, more than 6 decades after the tragedy, Russian authorities quietly reopened the investigation. Their conclusion? Avalanche. Again. But this time, almost no one was convinced. Avalanche. And why were the injuries so inconsistent? Some victims with shattered skulls and crushed ribs, but no external wounds? Why was the tent cut from the inside? Why were traces of radiation found on the hikers' clothing? Did some bodies appear? Posed. Perhaps most hauntingly, why did none of them try to return to the tent, even though some were found alive for hours after fleeing? Too many questions. Too many contradictions. To this day, independent researchers, scientists, filmmakers, and even paranormal investigators continue to search for the truth. But no one really knows what happened on that icy slope. Not the military. Not the survivors. Not even the mountain. The Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most terrifying and unexplained mysteries of the modern world. A frozen secret, buried beneath the snow, and still, ... whispering. So now it's your turn. What do you think really happened that night in the Dyatlov Pass? Was it a tragic accident? A misjudged decision in the wrong place at the wrong time? Or was it something more sinister? A classified military test gone horribly wrong? A natural force science still can't explain? Or perhaps an encounter with something beyond this world? Drop your theory in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. If this story sent a chill down your spine, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life mysteries and strange unsolved cases. There's a world full of shadows out there. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.